Champions by tonight. We're excited about that. You can get in touch with us, leave a comment on Facebook, on Twitter. You can get us hashtag Aviva Fan Studio if you have any questions ahead of the build-up. Ireland against Scotland gets underway at 2:15, and we've got the very best build-up right here in the Aviva Fan Studio. We've got some brilliant guests with us as well. We're going to talk to Mike McCarthy in just a moment, who's been out getting a sense of what the fans think about all this. But we've got Andrew Trimble here. How are you?
How you doing?
Fiona Steed, how are you?
I'm good.
And dancing shoes himself, Tomas O'Leary. You're going to show us a few moves, are you? A little bit later on?
If you're lucky, yeah.
Hey. So, Johnny Sexton, Finn Russell. Could you find two more opposite number 10s, Andrew?
I think this more or less sums up the approach of the two teams. Finn Russell can be incredible at times, and then at times he can miss touch 3 times in a row. That's kind of the way.
Would you prefer to play outside?
I know I'd rather play with Johnny. He kind of sums up the Schmidt approach, the consistency, just not making errors, just kind of doing the right thing and getting the job done. Finn Russell's incredibly talented, so if he turns up, I think we'll have our hands full.
Both Sexton and Russell may be a reflection of their coaches.
Well, that's it. I mean, you could have, flaky Finn in there as well. The alliteration's really good. But for me, he's sort of, yeah, that's good. He's sort of a throwback to Townsend himself as a player that you'd love to watch him playing some days, and then at times you just go, oh my God. And that's sort of exactly what's there. But I think Finn Russell has come out and will continue to come out the other side of the flakiness under Gregor Townsend, because he's been there and done that. I think he'll be able to guide him through it. And Sexton is Joe just on the pitch. I mean, he hears Joe's voice in his head. He does Joe's things.
He's Joe's son, actually.
Is he? Okay. Yeah, I didn't state that. Okay, but yeah. But that's it. And he is about the control, and he is about the patterns and the phases, and and the way Scotland will play won't suit that.
You used to see that in camp, that he himself and Joe had a special bond above everybody else. Was he the teacher's pet?
I was, very much so. Yeah, he does the right thing, and he answers the questions correctly, and yeah, he is, I suppose he's almost like a coach on the pitch in terms of his direction, his communication, his organisation of the team. So everybody kind of does what they told, otherwise they get...
You're not allowed to talk back, or he can go straight to...
No, don't talk back to Johnny. No, whatever you do. Yeah.
The one thing we don't know, I guess, with Finn Russell is, so you think back to the first 2 games where he took a huge amount of criticism, particularly after the Wales performance. He put in one of the great Scottish performances for a number 10 2 weeks ago against England, the first win in the Calcutta Cup in a decade. So is the Finn Russell who comes out here now one of the best number 10s in the world, or is it possible that actually that sort of performance goes to his head, he starts taking a few more risks?
Yeah, I guess he's going to be confident after the last day. But I think the most important thing you want from your 10 is that he's a general and that he controls the game. And obviously Sexton is a general, as Andrew said. And I think you can even extend that to Conor Murray. Irish halfbacks are much stronger, and the ability to control a game is much better than Laidlaw and Russell. So, and then I think the Irish pack is better as well. So, all those things together would seem to think that Sexton and Murray will have a better platform to control the game. So I think the advantage is definitely with Ireland.
Scotland's away record is shocking in the Six Nations. They've never won here at the Aviva Stadium, though. They did beat us in the last game at Croke Park, which we might get into later, lads. But the one concern with them coming over here is Ireland's weakness so far has been out wide. We've conceded 3 tries in each of the last 2 games, and that seems to be where Scotland are at their very best. Like, do you expect Scotland, the first 5-10 minutes, to really test Ireland out wide and see if Ireland have learned lessons?
I do. Well, I expect them to play a really unstructured game, and I do think that they'll look to use Hogg. He's obviously world class at fullback, and getting to bring him in the outside channels. They've got Jones in the centre as well, where he's big and he's good, and he'll test Ringrose, I think, early on as well. It's his first time back in, with a new centre partnership as well. So I think they'll look to go there and then look to go wide. I don't think they'll try to take on our pack, as Tomas says, that our pack is world class, and there's very few that you'd swap over,
Away from home in the Six Nations, does unstructured rugby work?
It depends. If the conditions stay relatively dry, they might be able to throw the ball around, but I think even with the selection of Toner, obviously the line is going to be key, and Joe Schmidt has almost illustrated that his set piece is going to be key. Ireland's scrum is very solid, and now the line-out's going to be the platform for this Irish halfbacks to control the game. So I think it's going to be very difficult for Scotland to impose their game plan on Ireland. So I think definitely advantages with Ireland in terms of structure versus unstructured.
You can get any comments you want in on hashtag Aviva Fan Studio for our guests today. So talking point number 2, breaking down the breakdown, and you can explain this because we look at their last 2 games where Nigel Owen seemed to give absolutely everything to Scotland, much to England's frustration, and maybe England were slightly ill-disciplined. But Wayne Barnes is a very, very different referee. Like, quite often, I think, for the layman, at international level, how there can be such discrepancies between 2 referees and how you have to play the referee as much as the opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ireland will have done research on the opposition, but also done research on the referee and made sure they know exactly what he's looking for, giving good pictures to kind of give the impression that we're onside. But yeah, Wayne Barnes is going to be a lot more beneficial for Ireland this week because Barkley won't be able to get away with some of the stuff he got away with last week. Everybody loves seeing Nigel Owens referee a game because it's free flowing, there's going to be tries. Incredible game last week, probably a little bit down to Nigel Owens and how he let the game flow, but certainly if we're going to get a win today, I'm glad we haven't got Nigel Owens, but I would imagine Wayne Barnes is going to set a stall out early.
Yeah, I've heard that Wayne Barnes is going to give a penalty inside the opening minute.
Yeah, well, I think as well, like he does the last time he refereed Ryan Wilson, who's the Scottish 8, he yellow carded him, gave 5 penalties against him, so that's going to be a negating factor as well, and that Wilson isn't going to be able to be in and be over the ball unless he's absolutely 100% sure, and I'm sure that he's probably looked for feedback, or Scotland have looked for feedback from from that last time, because he sort of knows them and he'll snuff them out. But they've got a really good back row, and if he doesn't clamp down on it, it'll be really interesting to see the match up there with the lads.
It makes me feel more confident because we know that Ireland will have done their homework and will be quite structured and will hold their discipline. Like, they only gave away 4 penalties against Wales, which is pretty remarkable at international rugby. Whereas there are those question marks for Scotland, who enjoyed such success and got away with murder against England. That's got to be in their minds thinking, well, we'll just chance our arm again.
Yeah, you're going to push the boat out, and the back rows will always test the referee and see how lenient he's going to be at a breakdown. And if he gives an early penalty for someone staying on the ball, or maybe not being on his feet or whatever, then they'll know how far they can push it. So they're going to test the referee early doors, and obviously the referee will be aware of what's been said as well in the media. So he might be a bit more lenient. He doesn't want to give away a penalty for the sake of giving away a penalty. So he's human as well. So the players are going to test that, and both back rows are going to live on the edge until they're penalised.
Mike McCarthy is with us as well, the Aviva fan reporter. You've been out and about since early this morning. Tough job having to go to the pubs, check the atmosphere. What's the general feelings?
Yeah, it was a tough job, to be fair. I bumped into Trimble and Jim Hamilton, so I got a good Scottish perspective. So you've kind of covered everything, but the main talking points were Sexton versus Russell. I think Rob Kearney was talking during the week that we kind of let him play in I think Rob Kearney said let him play in a dinner jacket last time. They were quick out the block, scored 3 tries in the first 20 minutes. So the start's going to be hugely important, and getting good spacings in our defence against Scotland. The last time out, we were very narrow and we got caught out, as I said, in the first 20 minutes. So getting our spacings and ramping up the line speed, getting in Finn Russell's face, and doing that at an early stage. So, and the other thing that was spoken about, as you said, was their away form. Haven't won here since 2010. They started off poorly against Wales, but they are a quality side. They beat Australia away from home. They beat them at home. They almost beat the All Blacks in the autumn. So I think it's great that they beat England. So they're coming here, and we're not going to get a shock from them. So, but no, it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. Can't wait for it to start. I'm really excited and looking forward to it and spending time with you all.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. It's a real treat for everybody in the Aviva fan studio.
Thanks for having me back.
To have
Cheers.
the president of the Devon Toner fan club with us today.
And I'm just so happy to see him back in there starting. It's great to see him back.
In all seriousnness, it was a big decision because everyone expected Ian Henderson to come back. Why do you think he's gone with Toner again?
Yeah, well, I cried when I saw him back in there. It's made me pretty emotional. But I think he performed really well against. Wales. James Ryan as well was great again in Paris. He missed out against Italy and then came back and backed it up. But I think the main thing in this squad is the amount of depth. When you look at the centre partnership. So we started without Jared Payne. Robbie Henshaw gets injured, unfortunately, and Chris Farrell comes in and gets man of the match. And then we have the luxury of bringing in Gary Ringrose. So, building the depth towards the next, looking past the Six Nations to the next World Cup. There's so much depth in the squad, which is really exciting.
We've got quite a few competition winners alongside us here in the Viva Fan studio, including Dara, who gets the opportunity to ask a question and in a rather menacing way earlier said, "It's for you, Mike," as if he knew a little bit about you and something might come back to haunt you right now. What's your question then?
Yeah, I'll pass you the mic, but if you want to ask the guys a question, feel free to ask the lads.
I think I'll just stick with Mike. Mike's Mike.
Are you Mike Stalker?
No. So I didn't want to prepare you for the question, Mike. But Ireland winning the Six Nations or Grand Slam would be great this year, but would the squad give it up for a better performance in Japan next year at the World Cup?
Yeah, okay. I think you have to give me the mic back. I think ultimately, yes, they would. I think if they could win the championship and not win the Grand Slam, I think they'd take an improved performance at the World Cup. As I mentioned before, hugely exciting, the amount of depth in the squad coming up to the next World Cup. The last time we obviously had that good win against France, and then Argentina in the quarter-final we lost Paul O'Connell, Peter Marnie, Sean O'Brien, Johnny Sexton, Jared Payne, Tommy Bowe went off injured pretty early. That's going to affect any team, 6 key players. So I think the learnings from that going forward was to really build some depth, and you can see how Joe's done that. Our first win 2016 away in South Africa, the first time in history beating them away, and then for the second test Joe made 5 changes, so you can see he's thinking long term, and then even now he's used 32 players in 26 tests, so you can see he's really looking forward to the next World Cup and trying to prepare in the best way for that. But to answer your question, sorry, I think waffled on a bit there. Sometimes happens, but I think ultimately, yes, they would take winning the championship, not the Grand Slam, for winning the World Cup. Over and out. That's it. Thanks.
Well, I think we have a bit more strength in depth this time than we had 4 years ago, because I don't know who got called up when Paul O'Connell got injured.
Oh, yeah, we can see they were really scraping the barrel. So I got called up.
You didn't even have time to pack your bag.
I got called up, had a week out there, and then unfortunately got knocked out. So I was just annoying death for the week. But
really.
Actually, I spent some time with the lads. But
that's nice. Go on. Come up here and. I'm told you're one of the best dancers in the Irish squad. You were surprised you didn't get the call for Dancing with the Stars. Go on, what's your main tip to him?
I need this still, sorry.
Yeah, you need that, keep hold of it, Come on, Tomas, what's the one bit of advice if he does get the call up next year, which, let's be honest, is right now, it might be that unlikely. You're the only one who needs the mic.
Okay.
Mike's Mike, just remember.
I don't know, I would say lose your inhibition, but he doesn't seem to know. Yeah, I don't know, I'd probably give it a skip. I wouldn't probably do it. It's probably the best advice. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't give advice. I was knocked out in week 3, so I was pretty crap.
Were you getting much abuse from the rest of the lads?
A little bit, yeah, but most of it is not for public consumption. Unfortunately,
maybe post match.
I think most of them wanted me to stay in it so they could slag me more. So, thankfully,
I'd like to see Trimby on it.
Yeah.
You can dance, mate. Let's see. You can actually dance.
No, I can't.
Have you got some moves?
I've got absolutely
the very long arms.
I've got. They don't help.
they get in the way, do they?
No, they don't help at all. They make it very tricky. No, I can't dance at all.
Okay.
Our third talking point. Grand Slam on their minds. Is there any possibility that there's complacency this week, that we're all building up to Twickenham next Saturday, St. Patrick's Day, and actually they're presuming they're just going to come out and get this win?
No.
They're
not allowed, are they? Think.
At all?
No. No, I don't think there is. They're just so professional. Like, they'll just see what's in front of them. There's no way they're thinking beyond today. Absolutely
I think the Grand Slam is definitely on their minds, though. Like, it's in the...
Yeah, but it's in the background of the mind. But it's not going to cause them to have any sort of major thing today.
Don't fall out, you two.
It's such a big prize, like, that if we lose to Scotland, it's gone.
So it's spoken about in team meetings that actually these opportunities, as we know in Ireland...
I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that, no. I just think Joe will have them mentally and physically right for this game. As he'll refer to it in camp as noise from the outside, and genuinely they won't be looking past this Scottish game. As we said, Scotland beat them the last time.
Because the bus was late. The bus was late, though.
Yeah, Trimby, you were there, weren't you? Were you not
last
there
year?
Last year?
No.
Okay.
No. Haven't been there for a while.
Leave the hard stuff to us. We need to get your predictions then, Mike. You go first.
I'll go
What are you
last. I
thinking?
normally go last, actually.
Okay, and it's
Yeah.
worked well.
So, yeah.
Well, I didn't realise the
Trimby normally goes
superstitions
first.
around
Actually,
this.
ladies
Go on,
first, no?
Tomas.
No, it's okay. No,
okay.
no, I'm going to
I
go.
didn't know this would be so complicated. Tomas, wow.
And then the confidence meter. as well.
32-12, is that with a bonus
jeez.
point? Is that us potentially winning the championship tonight?
I think so, yeah.
All right, very good. Fiona, I'm not convinced Fiona's quite as confident.
Oh, she's
Oh,
not.
we're in for a cracker. Another last-minute try, perhaps. Andrew, what are you going to say?
Is it Andrew? Is it Andrew or Andy?
You're writing in Mike's spot, though.
Oh, I presume you were doing that.
You want the 33?
No, I'll do my own, thanks.
It's a thriller.
33-28, another thriller. And this is the one that really matters. Have you got any of them right at all so far?
Lick it.
So I'm just thinking 30.
You can get your predictions in as well to hashtag #AvivaFanStudio. We're all going for a pretty high-scoring game.
Stop, not raining, seriously.
All right, we are almost done. We want to go to the confidence meter. Mike, you might do the confidence meter as well because you've been out among the fans. Just how confident are the Irish supporters right now?
They are.
They're in a glass case of emotion, are they? They're very, very confident. It just dipped massively, though, when they met you for some reason. All right, that is us done for now with the Aviva Fan Studio. We've got plenty more to come, though, right throughout the game. We'll be back at half-time for some analysis as well. Plenty of post-match analysis to come, but all four predicting an Ireland victory. What do we think? Get your questions in when you're watching the first half. We'll be back on our Off the Ball social channels, but you can get your questions into hashtag AvivaFanStudio. Come on, Ireland!